اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين. لا إله إلا الله لا إله إلا الله لا إله إلا الله محمد رسول الله إبراهيم رسول الله موسى رسول الله عيسى رسول الله عليه صلوات الله. Okay, so we're going to continue on our teaching about luminous veils, but we're going to be focusing on it more from the point of view of healing this day rather than the lecture aspect of it. So we're going to really understand what is a luminous veil, how we get stuck with those veils, and how we can move beyond them, right? So let's first again, I always like to review, I don't know, I learned something from Salat. You know, how many times have we prayed Salat in our lives, right? About 1 million, right? And we're still perfecting it. And so if you think about it, if you really learn from Allah, a lot, you know, in this teaching, in this Muhammadan teaching, rather than giving us 1 million things to learn, he gives us like 4 rakats of things to learn. He says, why don't you do it for the next 70 years and see if you can get it right? You know, and I thought to myself, you know, this is exactly what Allah's teaching us, that we're actually, in a way, it's not the quantity of information, it's the reviewing and the integration and the foundational process of what we have that actually really makes us strong. You know, so it's not so much that we have to get so much information, it's more that we have to get good at what we have. You know, I know you guys ever played football, but back in the day of Vince Lombardi, which some of you may remember, he wasn't a great strategist, but you know what they did up there was so solid that they were always the NFL champions, the Green Bay Packers. They won year after year after year because their foundational teachings were so solid. In the end of the day, that's what really won the game. So we're kind of being like the Green Bay Packers. We're gonna go again and again through the teaching. So forgive me if it sounds basic. I guess is what I'm saying. All right. So again, let's review briefly. Here you are in a Sufi teaching, right? What is the goal of a Sufi teaching? What's our goal? To know God, right? Is that you, Marcella? You okay? Okay. So your job is to know God. How is Sufism different than Islam? Yes.
Sufism is knowing God in a way of feeling Him and experiencing Him rather than knowing Him from an intellectual level.
Okay, so Sufism is more of an experiential relationship to God as opposed to an intellectual understanding of God.
Yes.
Are they separate from each other?
No.
No. Yes. No, they're not separate.
There should be, inshallah, there is no difference, but we make a distinction with Sufism so that we can have a deeper understanding of what maybe we're having difficulty just by reading the Quran by itself from our teachers.
Exactly. In reality, the teachings of God are actually have layers. They have striations to them. So there's a higher level, and there's a middle level, and there's another level, and then there's an entry level. And these levels are actually all part of the same teaching. They're just looked at through different eyes. And so really, if you're in the level of haqiqah, which is the level of truly having knowledge of God through direct experience, you cannot have haqiqah without sharia. In other words, how could you enter into divine reality if you're breaking divine law? I mean, it's just kind of common sense. Yes.
Another definition of Sufism is that it's the Islamic science of the heart and of your relationship with Allah.
Yes.
So as I understand it, it's about ihsan, right? It's about excellence. It comes on top of the Sharia.
Exactly. That's true. So from one perspective, you could say it's about ihsan. Ihsan means excellence. And of course, there's the hadith about, the Gabriel hadith about, you know, if you don't see Allah, Allah sees you. And that's a kind of a formal teaching of ihsan. But really, from Sidi's perspective, Sidi has said, you actually do perceive Allah, at least Allah's qualities in Islam. And so there is an experience, maybe not of God, because God is very transcendent, but of God's 99 names. And that Ihsan could be said to be the direct witnessing and knowledge, the knowledge and witnessing of the 99 names. So Ihsan is, you are seeing something. And it's not just an intellectualization, oh, if you see God, if you don't see God, God sees you. You are seeing something. You do see something. You do perceive something. That perception is a subtle perception, but you have to be open to perceiving it. Okay, now, as a healer, for me personally, when I work, I'm a physician, I know most of you know that, and a healer, a spiritual healer, but most of my time I spend working with very radical diseases these days. I do a lot of work with cancer and AIDS and, you know, all sorts of end-stage diseases, people dying essentially. And I can tell you that the key to healing is this level right there. That if we're going to heal disease, that we have to be able to reach into that 99 names level and be able to essentially heal the veiling of that level. In every disease that I personally have been involved in, where there's been life-threatening issues, it's been this level that's healed it. So for me, at this point, it's almost like a rule of thumb. Somebody comes to my office and they say I have a life-threatening disease, I immediately know I got to get in here. And this is going to be where the healing is going to happen. And what that really means is their perception and knowledge of the 99 names, their ability to purify them, their ability to understand them, their ability to walk through the veils of light that exist there, and their ability to return that quality to Allah so that it's complete, becomes the real nature of the walking. You know, a lot of times we're actually very afraid because as spiritual beings, the capacity to hold the depth of those names in our heart is extremely difficult. In other words, it takes a great deal of walking to be able to open your heart. In other words, how can you, Camilla taught on forgiveness today, but if you're going to learn to truly carry the light of Al-Kafur, then how do you learn to be Al-Kafur? You have to be able to forgive, but how do you forgive? You have to be wronged. Does ever think about that? If Allah wants to teach you forgiveness, and He does, because He wants you to be the Warith, the inheritor of the 99 names, and one of them's al-Ghafur, how's he going to teach you it? He's just going to magically give it to you and you don't have to do anything, and alhamdulillah, you know, get a free pass, don't pass go, $200. No. He's going to have somebody come up and mistreat you and treat you wrong and put you down and hurt you, and you are going to be so pissed off about it and so hurt by it and so much injustice by it, and then after all that, you're going to have to sit down and forgive it. That's how you become al-Ghafur. So Allah does not magically just put al-Ghafur in your heart. Allah teaches you al-Ghafur through trials of things that you need to forgive. Okay? And sometimes the capacity to carry the trials and to carry the depth of the qualities means that you have to be willing to carry the depth of the trial. Is that making sense what I'm saying? In other words, if you want to carry the Ghafur in the way that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has manifested it in the possibility for a human being, which you could say is demonstrated in the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. In other words, how did he carry forgiveness? How did he carry wadud, love? How did he carry mercy? Because he's an example of the complete expression of the divine names. Then what did he have to go through? Being betrayed by the Quraysh, by being betrayed by his own people, by being betrayed by the hypocrites, by being betrayed again and again and again and again and again. Look at what he went through as a human being, the level of trials that he went through, for most people would have killed him. The loss of his parents at a young age, the loss of his wife at a young age, of Khadijah, the loss of his son Ibrahim, the loss of his daughters. He had lost so many things in his life that he had to go through, and yet he always carried forgiveness. So that's how, if you want to become al-Ghafur, you don't get it through the magic wand, you get it through the trials of having to walk through it. But when you have it, in other words, when you embody al-Ghafur, then you have truly become a master. Because the quality of al-Ghafur is part of becoming an awliya, a saint, a one who's brought near, is the ability to forgive and to care and to love no matter what humanity throws at you. It's one of the qualities. So if you're interested in reaching haqiqah, which is the true first level of sainthood, of becoming a true awliya, then you have to be able to handle the trials that Allah puts in front of you. And the very simplest trial is this: can you maintain love in the state of separation and hate? That's the biggest trial of all. Okay? So I'm a very practical teacher. I love metaphysics and I love all those things, but I'll tell you the truth. When you get down to the bottom line of it, at the end of the day, Allah is not going to ask you about how much knowledge you have. Allah is going to ask you questions like, did you love when they hated you? Did you bring forgiveness when people mistreated you? Were you merciful when people didn't deserve the mercy? That's really what he's going to be asking you. So if somebody did something wrong, and you have the right for retaliation, but you choose not to. That's mercy.
Does this same thing apply to people who are past? Does this same thing apply to people or family that have passed?
How so? I'm not sure if
Is there a need to forgive?
Passed away.
who passed away. Yeah, well, if they hurt you, yeah, you need to forgive them because they're on the other side over there. But if you're holding rage at them, or anger, or lack of forgiveness, don't think that doesn't affect them on the other side.
Okay.
Yeah.
I know it would be good for me to forgive, but it affects them on the other side also.
Yes, of course.
Okay.
Of course. Have you ever heard people running across your roof being mad at you? Their spirits are coming down and they're saying, forgive me, already, Habib, it's enough. You know, they want forgiveness. Okay, so the point of all this is that Allah, the way Allah teaches you is through trials. He teaches you through trials. You have to understand this. He teaches you through trials. And the trials are the trials of the 99 names. That's how Allah teaches you. It's through trials. It's through putting your head down and having to deal with what you don't want to deal with. That's a trial. A trial is not something, it can be, there are positive trials, of course, but it's the negative trials that at the end of the day, Sidi said, it's the Jalal trials that are actually the ones that make you holy. And the Jamal trials are more vacations. Well, Sidi said that. So the bottom line of it is that these trials, these Jalali trials, are necessary to determine the nature of your heart. Allah is, on one hand, testing you to see really what kind of heart you have. But the second thing He's doing is really trying to teach you and saying, you know, I'm giving you the chance to forgive somebody, and I've really had somebody wrong you, and what are you going to do with it, my beloved child? What are you going to do with this, my creation? Are you going to hate them? Are you going to attack them? Are you going to slander them? Are you going to forgive them? Are you going to seek for love? Are you going to seek for the holiness? Are you going to follow my order inside your heart? Allah is asking you yourself to make those trials and those answers inside your heart. And don't think that those aren't recorded. Those angels are up there writing very clearly what you choose. So when you make the choice, okay, that person wronged me, and I'm going to hate them, this guy writes it. And when you make the choice, that person wronged me, and I'm going to try to hold the love with them, this one writes it. And when you say, you know what, that person wronged me, but I want to follow what Allah wants for me to do, Allah hears that, and He's so happy for you, because you have proven and shown yourself to be trustworthy. Yes.
You mentioned a Jamal trial. What would a Jamal trial be?
Oh, Allah gives you $1 million. You win the lottery, and now you can do anything you want with it. Great trial. I mean, we also have it a few times. But, you know, the bottom line of it, did you know that there was research done on people who won the lottery, and almost across the board, they've all messed their lives up. Totally messed their lives up. They've misused the money, they've done all sorts of things, their lives went into the toilet after they got all that money. So it didn't mean that they, you know, that's a Jamal trial that was not passed. Okay? All right. So in the teaching of healing, remember that healing could be very simply said as the completion of incomplete experiences that live within yourself. Okay? Healing, let me repeat it. Healing is nothing more than completing the incomplete experiences that live inside yourself that you did not resolve. Okay? So again, think about this. We have this outer experience, we have all this outer possibilities of you know, our actions, which is very much what Islam and Shariah about is right action. Okay, actions are very necessary because it's the red light and green light of existence by God. But your reaction to what is put in front of you as a trial is actually what your heart is about. Is that making sense? Okay, so if something comes to you that you don't like, you can follow the prophetic teachings, and you might not backbite, you might not slander, you might not say anything wrong about that person. You are following Sharia in a very beautiful way because you're doing what Allah asks of you, you know, to be polite, to be in the adab. But what if you're polite, you're in the adab, you don't say anything, but behind it you're really pissed off?
Got it.
Right? What happens in that case? Well, I'll tell you what happens. What happens is that the images of astaghfirullah, the images of what you're mad about are stored in your subconscious. They stay beneath conscious mind, but they don't go away. And the emotions don't go away. And what happens is that anger and that experience and the images of that experience get stored somewhere in your body, and they play like a loop, like a recurrent loop again and again in your body. But you may not be conscious of it, except at times, which is when you walk into an experience that's similar to what happened and it triggers it. The body is amazing. I mean, it's the amount of information. You know, they talk about these terabytes of, you know, you go to Best Buy today and you buy a 4 terabyte hard drive, right? But, you know, one cell has more capacity for terabyte information than these massive computers. A cell has, I don't know, there was some research on it, it's like hundreds of them. Beyond, what's the next thing after terabyte? I don't remember.
Gigabytes.
Gigabytes?
Gigabytes.
Petabytes or something.
Or seriously, I think it is that.
Is it a petabyte or is it a public English byte? Okay. It's something beyond the terabyte.
No, it really is.
It's a lot of information. The cellular information is unbelievable. So the fact is that you can store a memory in a cell, you know, hundreds of thousands of times. And the cellular memory is incredible. The cellular memory you carry is incredible. And I say to you that your subtle body memory is even greater than your cellular memory, because there's now research that shows that the mind itself is not carried within the brain. It's not in the cells, it's outside the cells. So where is it stored? It's stored in the light body, or the electromagnetic body, or the subtle body that surrounds the brain. That's where your actual information is being processed. It's not being processed cellularly. There's new information showing us now. Okay, so what is that? Well, that's part of your subtle brain. Okay, anyways, my point of all this is that you carry, all of us carry inside of us, in this subtle body, these experiences which are incomplete, and those experiences loop, and in time, that looping affects the electromagnetics, the cellular replication, the DNA transcription, the formation of the molecules inside your body, and you end up with disease. It takes time, but it does happen. Okay? So the deeper your issue is, the deeper into the body and into the subtle brain it goes, the more potentiality for disease you have. Okay? And in the veils of light, what happens is that these images that are being carried inside here are actually transmuted or lifted up into the soul. And inside the soul witnesses this relationship here, and the soul begins to create a certain type of imaging in relationship to what happened down here. So what you actually get is a simultaneously image of the experience as you experienced it. But there's a higher thing, which is the imaginal realm, or the imaginary images that imprint on the soul that show the realm of possibility in relationship to the images down here. Okay? So what that means is that in every experience you have, you not only have the subtle memory of what went on, you also have an imaginal playing out of the possibilities of what occurred based on your soul's perception. So you are having an imaginal experience of a real experience, and these experiences come together to create suffering inside of you.
Please say that again.
When you have an experience, the experience is stored in your subconscious. And it's particularly stored in your heart, because your heart's the source of everything. It's not for love. But behind the heart is a deeper experience of imagery that goes on, which is the soul's imaginal perception of what happened to you. The soul witnesses the experience, but it also imagines potential solutions, potential things that could happen, potential openings, And this potentiality of imaginal imaging imprints on top of this, and you have a simultaneous experience. Does that make more sense?
Could you give an example?
Okay, so let's say that you have a child who gets involved in drugs. Okay, and you're witnessing the child gets involved in drugs, and you are in pain because your child got involved in drugs, right? Okay, so in your heart, you're in pain because you're experiencing your child's involvement in drugs. And all that imaging goes inside of your heart, and your heart is feeling so much pain. I'm in so much pain. I love my child so much. I have so much mercy for him. But my God, he needs a boot, and you know what? And I don't want to do that because because I'm not that strong. I don't have enough kawi to do that. But all this is going on inside of me here. Then the soul looks at this, and the soul says, the soul begins to make images about this. The soul says, if my child continues on the drugs, he might overdose and die. And so there's a potentiality of dying if my child continues on drugs. Or if my child begins to sell drugs, my child will go to jail, and I'm going to lose and never see my child again, and he's going to become a convict or something. Or if my child continues on drugs, he'll never be able to have a baby because the drugs are going to affect his reproduction, and he's going to have children that are not quite right, and I'm going to end up with grandchildren that are not formed correctly. Okay, you see what I'm saying? So all this imaginal stuff comes on top of this thing. Is that part making sense?
Yes.
Okay, in every disease this goes on.
You mean this is, the imaginal stuff is stuff that we're thinking or not thinking?
It's not thought of. You're not thinking of it. Well, you might think of it because it eventually gets to your mind. But it's coming in, so you're concerned, like your imagination is playing games. Your imagination says, oh, I have a beautiful, you have a 12-year-old daughter, a 14-year-old daughter, and I love her completely. But what happens if? What happens if? And in your imagination, it has all these images showing up inside of its imaginal world that imprint. Like my daughter, she called me last night, Daddy, can I go to a dance? I'm 12 years old. Okay, I was like, aren't you a little young to go to a dance? And she's like, no, I'm not. Everybody in school is going to a dance, and I want to go. And I said, no. And she, now I got to go home and deal with it. I know, I was being bad. But I know what happens at her dances. Anyways.